My name is John Dennis. I am the Mi'kmaq language keeper for the Mi'kmaq Nation. Wiklatmuj are people, small people that used to roam, and now they're only in certain areas. And the thing is like they have that spirit of being childlike and so on. Not only because they're small, but because they're still in the aspect of who and being who they are. Like us, we are regulated by laws, right? We can't do this, you can't do that. They don't have no regulation, so they can be just like Peter Pan, living how they want to live and having fun. So growing up, I heard some things about Wiklatmuj, the little people, but not much was really told. You know, they would talk about how you respect Wiklatmuj. That was it. That was all that I really heard. When I was younger, I told this story to my family and I was laughed at. But when I was running home after going to from the store, the local store, I tripped and I fell. And when I fell hard. And so I looked and I seen a mouse and a chipmunk running together. And when they stopped, they turned around and they had little faces. So for me, I am like, everybody said, oh, you hit your head pretty hard, so you probably had this hallucination. But I know it wasn't. I know it was a little people. And so I feel for me, the little people are the ones who take care of nature. They are the ones who take care of the smaller things, the smaller animals that we don't really see.
Yeah, but birds are an omen. We get a bird coming to the door or trying to come in the window, that's a sign. And my niece, when she passed, I was coming out of my basket shop, and it was after dark. I turned the lights out, and I closed the door, and I still had my hand on the doorknob, and that was inside the shop. So I says, what did I knock over? And I says, there ain't nothing that could fall that would sound like that. So I just let go of the handle, and I went in the house, and a few minutes later I got a call that my niece had passed on. Yeah. And I come out of the shop to go to the other shed, and there was a bird jumping from the top step onto the metal part of the step and jumping back and forth. And all I told him in Mi'kmaq, Jigalasi Nadale, get away from there. And within 20 minutes, my cousin called me and told me that my cousin Andy passed away. Andy lived down second house down there. Yeah. Well, the owls, if you're hearing an owl, and you have, like if you had a family member out there that was, you knew that they was on drugs real bad, or if you knew that, they were traveling somewhere and, you're really concerned about them. And if you hear an owl during the night, if that owl started at 1:30 or something like that and just stayed there and, hooting every once in a while, 2 or 3 times at a time, there's a good chance that omen would start at 1:30. I've had a person come up from southern Maine, and he talked to me about the owls, and he says when the owl started hooting, that it woke him up, and he stayed awake all night. And when he found his daughter the next day, well, they already found her, and she was dead. And the time of death was approximately, midnight to 3 o'clock, something like that. In 2010, when I had this defibrillator implanted, when they brought me from surgery to recovery, and my daughter Rosella and my friend Pam were in my room waiting for me. And they brought me from recovery to my room, and as they brought me in, one of the nurses said his blood pressure dropped, and my blood pressure dropped to 0. And one nurse went running out, and the other two dropped the gurney down, ready to do the compressions on the floor. And an eagle came and sat on the windowsill and looked in, and when Rosella seen that, she says, "He's going to be all right." So the nurse come running back in, took my blood pressure, and it was normal.